Welcome to my YouTube channel, Legal Information Law Insights. I am Advocate Mukund Mahajan. In countless Indian families, especially in recent years, disputes over parental property have shattered relationships, led to lengthy court battles, and even divided siblings for life. But what many don't realize is, most of these conflicts can be legally prevented with just a few timely and correct steps. In today's video, I will simplify the key laws, share some important Supreme Court updates as of 2025, and provide you with a practical legal checklist you can follow immediately to protect your family's peace and legacy. 1. What is parental property? Before we dive into the legal rights, let's understand the basic concept. Parental property is usually of two types. Ancestral property, which is part of a Hindu undivided family, HUF, passed down through 4 generations. Self-acquired property, which is bought or built by a parent using their own income, without inherited contributions. This distinction is vital because your rights differ significantly based on the type. In ancestral property, children acquire rights by birth, sons and daughters both. But in self-acquired property, parents have complete discretion to decide who gets what through a will, gift, or sale. That's where most misunderstandings arise. 2. Who has what rights? The Hindu Succession Act, especially after its 2005 amendment, changed the landscape of inheritance law in India. The most notable shift was that daughters were granted equal coparcenary rights as sons, and yes, this applies even if they were born before 2005. Further, once a partition is formally completed, the share received by any member, son, daughter, or parent, becomes their self-acquired property. This means they are free to sell, gift, or bequeath it as they wish. So, when dealing with parental property disputes, always consider whether the property is ancestral, or if it has already become self-acquired due to partition. 3. Key legal developments, 2020 to 2025. Let's now look at the recent landmark judgments and legal developments that directly impact your rights in 2025. In Vineeta Sharma vs. Rakesh Sharma, 2020, the Supreme Court made it crystal clear that daughters have equal birthrights in joint family property, reaffirming the 2005 amendment. In a 2025 Supreme Court judgment, Angadi Chandranna vs. Shankar, the court ruled that once a partition has occurred and shares are distributed, the property becomes self-acquired, and the holder can legally transfer or sell it without consulting others. This decision is particularly important in stopping unjustified objections by children or relatives post-partition. Under the Maintenance and Welfare of Parents and Senior Citizens Act, the courts have taken a stricter view. Legal heirs who inherit property cannot avoid their responsibility to maintain their parents, even if the property was transferred quietly or under the table. There have also been important High Court rulings in cases involving tribal and minority communities, where courts have upheld gender equality, overruling outdated traditions that denied women the right to inherit. Together, these legal developments send a strong message: clarity, documentation, and equality are the future of inheritance law in India. 4. Common causes of family disputes. So why do families fight over property? Here are the most frequent legal triggers. No valid will, or a poorly drafted will full of ambiguity. Verbal settlements or family arrangements that were never documented. Undocumented gifts or property transfers without proper deeds. Lack of clarity over whether the property is ancestral or self-acquired. Emotional assumptions, such as, "my father will distribute equally," which hold no weight in the eyes of the law if there are no supporting documents. These situations can easily snowball into full-blown disputes if not addressed properly. 5. 7 legal steps to avoid family fights. To protect your family from future conflicts, here are 7 powerful legal steps every family should consider. Make a valid will. Ensure it is clear, regularly updated, signed with witnesses, and preferably registered. A will is the most important document in preventing disputes. Register a partition deed if you've already distributed the property informally. Get it legally recorded through a registered partition deed. Execute proper gift deeds if property is given during the parent's lifetime. Use a registered gift deed, citing voluntary intention, and keep witnesses. Maintain financial proof. If any family member contributed to buying or improving property, document it with bank statements or payment receipts. Collect NOCs from heirs. If one heir receives a property, have others give a no objection certificate to avoid future litigation. Update mutation records and EC, encumbrance certificate. Revenue records can make or break your claim in court. Keep them current. Use mediation. Early legal battles are expensive and time-consuming. Mediation with a neutral lawyer can often solve 90% of issues without litigation. These steps are not just legal tools, they are peacekeeping measures for your family's future. 6. Real case lesson. Let me share a real legal lesson. In a 31-year-old case from Bengaluru, children tried to stop their father from selling a piece of land, arguing it was ancestral property. The father said the property had already been partitioned years ago. In 2025, the case reached the Supreme Court, which ruled that since a partition had already occurred, the property was now self-acquired, and the father had every right to sell it. Takeaway: if you've done a partition, don't leave it vague. Register it. Document it. Or else, it could lead to decades of unnecessary court fights. 7. Checklist: what you should do this week. Here's a simple checklist to follow this week. Draft or update a proper will. If there was a past partition, get it legally registered. Gather documents proving financial contributions or ownership. Review your bank accounts, digital assets, and nominations. Make sure they are updated. Just these few actions can safeguard your family's peace. 8. Warning signs. Be alert to these red flags. Don't worry, I'll handle everything. Such vague promises often backfire. Verbal commitments about who will get what, they're useless without legal proof. General power of attorney documents, these are often misused in family disputes. Always rely on proper documentation, legal advice, and registration, not emotions or assumptions. 9. When to go to court. Legal action should be your last resort, but sometimes it becomes necessary. Go to court when you face forgery, fraud, illegal sale or transfer of property. In other cases, explore family settlement, legal mediation, or even arbitration. These alternatives save time, money, and emotional distress. Closing summary. Let's recap the key points. First, identify whether the property is ancestral or self-acquired. Then, make sure every transaction or distribution is properly documented: wills, partitions, gifts, and sales. Understand that legal clarity, not emotional trust, protects families. Courts in 2025 are recognizing gender equality and documentation as top priorities. So plan your family's future accordingly. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it informative, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for more legal insights. I will meet you in the next video soon. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.